Welcome to the Eavesdrop podcast. Me and the fellas, we're going to go ahead and get into the 3 pillars. Todd, how you doing today?
Man, I'm so blessed. I can't be stressed.
Mr. Paul, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing amazing.
Right on. Good stuff, man. All right, let's get right into our pillars. So we're going to have some fun. We're going to be talking about 3 different topics. We're going to talk about crypto. We're going to talk about relationships.
Oh, man.
And we're going to talk about conspiracy theories.
Can't wait for that.
And I think we're probably, chomping at the bit when we hit that conspiracy about what's been recently happening. But we'll go ahead and we'll wait for that part.
Yeah.
But let's start with crypto. So we got some questions we're going to throw around, and I hope that all 3 of us can participate in this. So we'll start with Paul. Paul, what's your relationship with crypto? Are you a beginner, an intermediate, an expert?
I'm an intermediate when it comes to Bitcoin. Altcoins I really didn't get into, but Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum, I've had some money in 3 of those. So
Okay.
I know a little bit about Dogecoin, Solana, but in terms of like following the trail history, not much. So I would say I'm intermediate on the Bitcoin aspect because I have majority of my money in the Bitcoin and the Ethereum.
So if you had to dive in, show somebody how to do it, or go get some for yourself, or something happened to your Bitcoin where you had to start over, you're fine. You know how to get right back into it.
Yeah,
Not like a beginner.
No, there's a few platforms that anybody can use. I used Coinbase back then to purchase Bitcoin, and you had to download GDAX with it to do it for free, but you would also have to wait like 4 to 5 days for that money to transfer from your bank into the programs. But you're gonna have to wait a few days, and then that money just sits there. And you can have a wallet too.
Okay. All right. Right on. I had some other questions, but I think I was jumping ahead of myself with that. So I'll swing back around in a minute. Todd, what's your relationship with crypto? Beginner?
Well, you know what, man? To be honest with you, I've been dabbling with it for so long, but to come to find out, I'm really a beginner. You know, as you said, intermediate. I was such a rookie. You know, when we had an interview with Aquaman 33, I learned a lot. You know, and the do's and don'ts, and I still don't know a lot, but from what I do know is that I didn't have the keys to my car. Another company had the keys to my car, meaning that I didn't actually own the crypto that I was purchasing on those platforms. I didn't know how to take those assets and transfer them over into my own wallet or a ledger. That I'm learning that you can store your own, you know, your crypto where it means something to you. Whereas, because if something goes wrong with one of those other companies, those applications, then they are indebted to investors first and not you. So that they can take your money and do whatever they want to do with it. That's the reason why I'm telling you I'm a beginner and I'm still learning how to transfer money off of these sites.
Right on. I'd say that you know what's funny? If we go back about 5 years ago, I would have said I'm an expert. But having Aquaman on our show, I'm not an expert, man. I'm an intermediate. You know, I'm definitely not a beginner, but I'm an intermediate. But it's funny. He inspired me to get back into it, bro. So I'm really excited about diving back into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be really cool.
Absolutely.
I think you asked me not to cut you off, but I think you asked me how long I was involved in Bitcoin since October of 2018. So not that long, but
No, that's
kind of long.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Well, you were in it since 2016.
14.
Oh yeah, 14.
Yeah. And my question was, what's your first memory of hearing about crypto? And what was your reaction when you first heard about it? What was your first memory about hearing about it?
Like,
was it 2018 or
it was 2018. Like, I think I want to say, it was on YouTube. I was listening to Mr. Moon. And he was like a Spanish guy. He had, his theme was like a moon, and he would have like an intro to, oh yeah, today we're going to be learning about how to scale out our money through Bitcoin. I'm like, scale out money through Bitcoin? What does he mean by that? And he would show these markers, you know, the upswing, the downturn. He'd use all these words. I'm like, bro, what is dude talking about? So then I'd start doing more. I would, you know, go down that rabbit hole and do more research and check out more videos from other people that kind of would just break it down layman's terms, because he was already somewhere that I wasn't. So I was like, okay, well, let me slow down, because I don't know if I can trade Bitcoin, but I sure don't want to hold, because he would talk about hold. You can hold and invest. And I was like, I want to hold and invest. So when he told me, okay, you need to download this and this, that's what I did. Some people have the hard form wallets, like what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And some people have it on software.
Yeah.
So I had mine on software, which was Coinbase at the time. But yeah, I
And
was excited about it.
did it take? Were you somebody that was trusting in it right away, or were you watching YouTube? Once you heard it, you're like, oh wait, this has got my interest, and then you found yourself watching maybe more videos for like maybe many months, or did you dive in like pretty quickly?
I dived in pretty quickly, but it took me a few weeks to actually indulge and actually want to be a part of this new finance talk.
Did you know anybody else that was doing it?
I didn't know anybody else that was
That's
doing it.
tight.
Yeah. I just went with my gut, man. I was like, I don't have to go to a bank for my own money. Oh yeah, I want to try this. Like I'm the bank with my own money. Yeah, I'm cool. So I tried it. I made a few misturns and lost some money. I lost a lot. Actually, Coinbase took all my money. I put $3,000 in there and they took my money because I tried to go online to ask for the customer service number and it just so happened to be a fraud number. And some guys in India took my money and acted like they were.
Oh, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there because I could go with the whole little roll on that.
Well, I don't want to make anybody feel bad, but I asked, I said, where you guys from?
Right
They told me
there.
like, we're from India. And
Oh,
like, I was just
man.
like, so they took not only did they take my money, they took the girl that I was seeing, they took her money too. So they took my $3,000.
They said, put her on the phone too. I had to. Put her on the phone, please.
They took my money.
Currently.
Oh, that was good. That was
Put her on
good.
the phone.
They took my money and her money.
So wait a minute. You were gonna call customer service. You went online to call customer service, but the number that you found online was that scam number.
Yeah. So I thought that number was the actual number. Something in my gut said, call that number again. I called that number again.
Oh, Lord. Oh, no.
Here
Here she is.
answer.
Here she is. Hold on.
All right. Let's pivot over to Todd real quick. Todd, what was your first memory about hearing about crypto? And
Actually,
what was your reaction?
The first time I ever heard about crypto, fortunately, it was from you. And we were back in the days, okay? So you can't judge us, okay? We were making a transaction between the two of us for some pizza, okay? he wanted to buy a whole pizza. So I said, okay, well, he said, no, I just want to buy a slice of pizza. Okay, no problem. So you kind of know where I'm going, right? So I said, well, I need $20 for that piece of pizza.
$20 for that.
It had all the toppings on it, right?
Oh man.
So he says, well, dude, let me pay you in Ripple.
No, Litecoin.
Oh wow, Litecoin was doing that.
Let me pay you on Litecoin. I said, what is that, bro? I don't even know what that is. Dude, he said, it's a coin, man. I said, well, could you put it in my hands? He said, nah, it's not like that. It's digital. It's digital. But believe me, I'm gonna give you I think he gave me
one. I was gonna give you one.
Yeah, I'll give you a Litecoin. I was like, what's a Litecoin? And he said, it's gonna appreciate the money. And I really didn't catch on to it. I really couldn't fathom what a coin was because I thought that I had to physically own something. Am I getting a real coin?
Yeah.
Some digital currency, Litecoin? What is this?
Yeah.
Is it a souvenir? Is it something that is tradable? Because back then you were collecting a lot of silver.
Yes.
And I thought that it was a part of that type of trend where it was a new coin.
Yeah.
But I was just not really uneducated around
That's
it.
crazy. So you actually ended up buying the pizza with the Litecoin?
Yeah, he did. And then
So I helped him set up a Coinbase, and then I transferred it to him.
Oh wow.
And I'm thinking it's doing something. It's going up and down. I'm like, dude, see what I'm saying? It's going up and down. You could have just slid that to me, right? You could have slid that to me, man. I wanted the physical form, but for the most part, I see the value in it now.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Man, you know what? The way I heard about it was at a barbecue, at a family barbecue. My cousin tells me, my cousin says, "Have you heard about Bitcoin?" And I was like, "No, I haven't heard about it." So he said that his Marine friends were into it, and they were like, "It's a digital asset. It's called Bitcoin. They trade with it. They're using it to buy things and stuff like that." So I said, "Okay, cool." I took in as much information as I could at a barbecue. And I turned around and I went on YouTube and on the internet and I started looking it up. I just started diving in. And I dove into the whole point, man, where I ended up saying, oh, this is something, you know what I'm saying? So And then I'll share a quick story before I jump into the next question. So then I bought one.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, the price of the Bitcoin was $647. $647.
$47.
You bought a whole one.
Yes. So I'm working at Verizon.
Yeah, the whole thing.
So I'm at Verizon. I work for Verizon at this time. And like you, nobody that I knew, nobody knew about this except not even my cousin had one. My cousin, he just said that his friends, Marine friends, knew about it. So I'm working at Verizon, and this one dude walks in with a Bitcoin shirt. So the Bitcoin logo right there, it's recognizable, right?
Yeah, it is.
He comes in with a shirt on it, and I look at him and I point at his shirt, and I'm like, Bitcoin, and his eyes light up. Like, in other words, like, man, you know.
Yeah.
And so he ended up getting help by somebody. And then I remember that I was like, when this guy's done getting help, I want to talk to him, So sure enough, he wanted to do the same thing too, because as he's walking out the door with his bag, he's like, hey man, he's like, you got a minute? And I was like, man, absolutely, man. Let's go outside and talk. So outside, he tells me, he was like, man, that's really cool that you're into Bitcoin. He's like, but look, here's my YouTube page. And he gave me his YouTube page, and he goes, and I want you to start looking up XRP. At this time, it was not, XRP came later. It was originally called Ripple.
Yeah.
It was look up Ripple and start diving into Ripple. So I dove into wanting to understand it and got my hands on some of that too, man. So I got painful stories though, man, like everybody does.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, man.
Yeah.
What's your impression about crypto today, and how has your perspective evolved over time?
Well, before, in the beginning, I thought it was going to lose its value because you had a lot of people that were in that space talking negatively about it. So it would scare me sometimes. I'm like, oh, let me take my money out. But now, looking now, 2025, January, Bitcoin's here to stay. It's only 30x every year if you think about it. It's always going to fluctuate. But in essence, the coin's here to stay. It's what was that 100,000?
Here to stay.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So now it's
a sure bet.
Yeah. Now I feel comfortable. I can throw a couple $100 here and there, grow it, and I don't know.
It's another level, man.
Yeah. He said you can get interest on it, and then he said something where you can just take a loan out. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's that decentralized DeFi, decentralized financing. It's another level.
Yeah.
The fact that he has his courses, it does behoove us to get into that course.
Oh, it
really does, man. Because it's another level. And like he said, that nobody's really there to hold your hand in the beginning, but the fact that they're there now, they can hold our hand.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
Yeah,
it's a big deal.
So the Discord's a big deal that he has, because it
it
integrates everybody to be on one.
It shows you how to do it
and understand. Okay,
yeah. Whereas you might hesitate a lot and wait to research some more, research some more, hesitate. And he'll say, no, here's what you do. And then you'd be like, oh, I did come across that. Yeah, dive in. And you dive in. So that's my next step, is to learn that DeFi that he's talking about.
Yeah.
T, what's your impression of crypto today? And then how has your perspective evolved?
Well, definitely we see that banks are transacting with it. We see large companies embracing it. There are the people that don't want to believe in it, that are still going to be, skeptics. But for the people that really are into it the way that they are now, we know that that's going to be the fuel of the future for financing and the way that money is going to move around the world. It used to be Western Union. We used to hear that word a lot, Western Union. And then you start to realize, when you hear that big name, Western Union, there were other people getting paid within that transaction. So if you transact, $10, you sending it to Thailand or Mexico or something like that, there's a certain percentage that's going to go to someone, and that takes a long time. Where this new digital currency, it's right now. If I send you something, it's here and now. It's seconds versus waiting days. So I think it's the wave of the future for sure. And I would lean my money more on crypto and the way that is working versus the way that the banks. I wouldn't trust my money in the bank.
Agreed.
Agreed. I fully agree. If we talk about the future of the dollar and the future of Bitcoin or even crypto in general, bro, you better have your money on crypto because the dollar shaky.
Yeah,
I agree.
We know it is.
Yeah.
My impression about it today is it's just reaffirmed and confirmed that my suspicion of it, years ago, was that it was solid, and now it's here to stay. Like we're all talking, and it evolved with me being able to benefit from it, because I ended up getting in some of my XRP. I ended up getting some Bitcoin. I ended up getting some Litecoin. I ended up, and then of course it's how great of a feeling it is when you bump into other people that you don't even know, and then they have some too, and it's like, oh man, really, you got some too, and then now you got a common thread between that person.
Mhm.
So that's happened so much. Um, I'm if I was hesitant to say, oh, I'm unsure about the future of it. Nah, I ain't unsure about the future of it no more.
Yeah.
I know
It's
it's rock
valid.
solid. Yeah.
Yeah, it's valid.
Yeah. Um, do you see yourself using crypto as a financial tool to purchase things or even invest?
100%. I would invest. I would purchase with it if given the opportunity. Let's just say if I can pay my cell phone bill in Bitcoin, I would.
Oh, that's definitely going to start happening for sure.
If I can invest, let's say a business transaction, like say this podcast facility that we have here, if I wanted to put dollars into this through Bitcoin as an investment, I would do that too.
You know what's funny is I wonder about that. It's a touchy topic, and let me say why I say it's a touchy topic, because I want to get to the point where crypto's been adopted. It's like it's adopted into the mainstream so that everybody's using it. So then I can use it. Because I don't know if I want to part ways with it yet. You know what I'm saying? If I can use $1, I'm
Yeah.
gonna pay with $1 because I'm gonna hold on to my Bitcoin.
Yeah.
If it's fractional purchasing, and maybe fractional purchasing, where if it
That would
can,
be cool.
if you can do fractional purchasing, that'd be good. Where
Yeah.
it's
Well, you can, because you don't have to own a whole Bitcoin. If you own, let's say the Bitcoin's at 95,000 right now. If you have just 1,000 worth of Bitcoin and something costed you $75, you can take $75 worth of your Bitcoin and buy something.
Mhm.
But would you, or would you rather let it sit?
oh, you want to let it sit as much as you can.
I'm saying,
But if it's gonna come to the point where they're gonna have something like that, like don't they have Bitcoin Cash now?
yeah, you're right.
So they have Bitcoin Cash, and I think XRP is coming out with the RLUD or RLUSD.
There's a
So
US.
so then that's something that we can start investing in. That's gonna, so there's ways that we can get involved with, like Aquaman said, matching our dollars with those corporate dollars to allow them to grow together as well
You
too.
did say that, yeah.
I meant to say something on the last question. You talked about banks.
Yes.
Today's the 14th. Did you guys know on the 7th, so 1 week ago, Bank of America adopted XRP 100% to do internal transactions?
I didn't know that.
I knew that the banks were going to be a part of the crypto industry, but I didn't know they were going to adopt it this
Yeah,
fast.
look how they do it at night.
Yeah.
They did it at night. It's like a nighttime deal. No one's waking up to the news unless you're really tapped in to those sources. But it's not like something that they want to make mainstream, because then that's gonna.
And think about that. I heard about it today, and the news article that the person's referring to was on the 7th. So 7 days later is when I'm hearing about it. And I'm just wondering, how come I didn't hear anybody else talking about it?
Yeah. Why is it not?
Because they're playing with our money, I believe. If you think about it, the banks have the opportunity to take your deposits, take your savings or whatever, and play the market with it
Yep.
as much as they want to.
Yeah.
And they're not going to tell you that, hey, we just made a deal with XRP or Ripple, and wait for the great news that's going to happen. They're taking your money and playing it, and then letting it unfold. And then when the prices go up. That no, you can't have all your money back. You want to take your $100,000 out of our bank? Oh, well, hold on, you can't do that.
We want to use it first.
Yeah, hold on.
That is true.
Because could you get money out of your bank like that? Do you think you can?
No, right now if you try to take over like $2,000 out, they start asking questions.
Yeah,
and if you
I have a mentor. He pulled out 100,000 out of his bank, and he said he had to wait for the either it was a district manager or something like that, one of the head honchos to come in before he pulled it out.
Do that. Now, would that happen with crypto?
No, absolutely not.
Something.
No,
Yeah, you can pull out $1 million
and send it straight to you.
Well, here's the thing, is because because retail, the majority of retail isn't accepting it as a form of payment. You need to convert it into the bank, so you still have to work with the bank, to convert it into bucks. But there's gonna be a time, bro, when look at so for instance, see, it goes back to this main question. Like if Starbucks was accepting XRP, would and you have dollars, are you pulling out your wallet and paying for your coffee with the dollars, or are you going to part ways with your XRP, even though they accept it? See, right? Look at what's funny is 10 years ago. Now we'll say 7 years ago. 7 years ago, I would have, just like those stories go about the Bitcoin guys, they were buying pizzas with Bitcoin.
500 of them.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. You when you don't think that it has the value and when it hasn't caught on mainstream, you have enough of it, you treat it like, oh, I got so much of this Bitcoin,
like a excess. You have excess.
Yeah, I got excess. I'll go ahead and I'm going to use this to pay for it.
Yeah.
But if right now Starbucks started using, they said we accept Bitcoin and XRP as a form of payment, I'm still hanging on to it because I know that it's climbing.
Yeah.
And so I'll be pissed off. So how many people will be pissed off if they use their XRP to buy some coffee? They'll be like, damn, I use my XRP to buy
But what
coffee.
if it's cheaper though? So like, what if it's significantly cheaper? So your coffee, your latte is $5.50, right? But you use Ripple, $2. And then it's then you start thinking about it, you're like, well, I could purchase it on my Ripple, so I can get 3 coffees. So I can get 3 coffees for $6 versus paying one for $6. Hold on. So then they're gonna think about it, because if you're making money off that Ripple, if you're making money off of it the right way, if you have your own wallet and doing it like we're talking about doing it,
I would treat Ripple like the credit card, and I would just put my cash. I put more cash into the Ripple.
Yeah, because then I wouldn't be trusting the bank. I would be putting all my money that I earn into my own wallet.
Because let's be honest, the wealthy, they don't use their cash; they use the credit.
Yeah,
and then they put their cash back into the credit to pay off the credit. So Solana, Dogecoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin. Those are the only ones I can name off the top of my head. I mean, I was involved in other things back then, but it wasn't as interested. I wasn't as interested in it because I didn't know much about it to be interested. I knew about Bitcoin and Litecoin.
You happen to name the main ones too right now.
Yeah. There was a lot though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just didn't understand them. So
yeah. HBAR, Shibu.
Yeah.
Obviously the Bitcoins and stuff like that.
Dog.
With the dog.
The Shiba.
Shibu. And then there was there was something Moon. They have different ones. And then they also have these other coins that are out that people are just utilizing to they just take off really quick and then they shut down.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Meme coins.
Meme coins, shit coins. They had shit coins. Yeah.
So there's just so many games that can be played with these coins. It's kind of confusing for some people, especially if you have an honest person that wants to get in the game and then now they get into meme coins. You lose all your money. You have a bad taste in your mouth because you didn't get with the right professionals or the people that know the industry. So I just try to stick with the basics, but I don't know too many of them yet. I'm getting to know. But HBAR is a definite player though, for sure. And Solana is good. Yeah.
Okay.
HBAR is a player.
I'll add to the ones, Stellar.
Stellar. Yeah, I remember Stellar.
Cardano
Yeah.
or
Cardano,
Ada.
yeah.
And I'll just throw maybe Uniswap. But that's it. I got some more if I sit here and think, but I'm not gonna sit here and think on the camera, man.
But did you have money in all those? Were
I
you
did.
vested in all those? Okay. I can't say that I do remember those coins that you're talking about. I would see them on my app. I think I would see them on Coinbase, or I would see them on Coinbase. And then isn't there like a website where you can go and you can see all the coins and see
Yeah,
how they're performing?
market cap.
Market, yeah. Okay.
I actually have here. I got before we close the section of the crypto. I got a and I'm not saying this to discourage anybody, because look, we all have stories where we have nightmare stories, pains, but you have those pains with money, you have those pains with stocks, you have those pains with people scamming you and ripping you off, you have those stories with material things as well.
Absolutely.
So it all goes into the same category. But check this out. So I bought a wallet, it's called a ledger, a nano ledger, and I went ahead and I transferred 400 XRP. Just I transferred it to there because I didn't want to. You want to mess around with it and not put all your crypto on it, because you just want to see how it works. All right, let me put some crypto on here, and I transferred a couple things on there, and I was like, okay, it works. So then I transferred 400 XRP on there, and I was like, all right, so I got some XRP here, I got some XRP there. So I sat on it. This was in 2022 that I got the damn nano ledger. When I got the ledger, and so I moved it. So maybe in September of this year. So now we're talking about 18 months that I have not used my ledger. My ledger's been sitting there with XRP on it. And so it has a passphrase, a 24-word passphrase.
Yes.
Okay.
That's you have to have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to write it down.
Because if you don't write it down, they don't want you to take a picture of it.
Nope.
Man, so I have it all. I have the card, bro. So watch, this is where the pain starts right here. So I said, okay, I'm gonna move this XRP into another wallet, and so I wanted to move it to another wallet. So all right, I launched the website. I plug in my ledger into my computer. I unlock it, and it says, all right, and I go to transfer it, and in order to transfer it, now you have to put in your password, your passphrase. Passphrase is wrong. Put it in again. 24 words, right? Password is wrong. And I'm like, you mother. Do. Password is wrong. So, bro, I stopped. That was in September. So in November, around Thanksgiving, I was like, all right, let me try it again. Passphrase is wrong. And I'm like, man.
It drive you nuts.
It does drive you nuts. So last night, I was on it again.
Fucked your head up.
Password is wrong.
Again?
So, yeah, man. So
are you doing caps on the first letters?
It's not even that. It's when you put enough letters in there, it throws up like 4, and then you just select the one that it is.
Oh wow.
So I was like, okay, it's that one. So what I've done through all the troubleshooting is it's saying that I probably have the order wrong, or I have a word that's wrong. Like maybe it's tried, but it's tired.
Yeah.
Or it's tired, but it's tried. Like one of them kind of situations. However, I can see it, and I have my passphrase, and I got my ledger. So the fact that I have all those things, I don't feel it's all lost. I just probably have to spend some time getting on the phone with customer service or doing some more Googling and stuff like that. But it does frustrate the shit out of you, bro. But
I can only imagine.
I don't even like my regular password. You changed my password? Oh shit. That throws me all the way off.
That's fun.
I don't like passwords either. I like just the phone to take a picture of my face and call it a day.
I need to get one that does your fingerprint, man.
Oh,
they have those.
Do that.
They have those, right?
Damn,
yeah.
Listen to these guys, man. These are the guys who be like scanning their wrist. I don't need it. It's a chip. See, fucking clone guys. These guys.
Nah, no clone for me.
I don't blink anymore.
He said, "I don't blink no more." All right, let's move into our next pillar, relationships. Man, this is gonna be cool. All right, let's start with Todd.
Uh-oh.
How would you compare your expertise on relationships?
All right.
Dr. Phil, Dr. Ruth, or Dr. Dre?
I would say Dr. Phil. I would say Dr. Phil.
Okay, okay. All right, so you got some relationship skills.
I got a little bit. You know, I've been through enough in my life to where, you know, I've been divorced. So I had a 20-year relationship prior, you know, but I've been divorced, and that took a lot of work. You know, it took time, work, energy, and yeah, a lot of rocky roads. So I definitely understand.
Yeah. 20 years. That's a good run, man.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But I have my life back, which is dope. You know,
Yeah.
I got, you know, my energy back, which is
Yeah.
incredible. And yeah.
All right. Mr. Paul, same question. What's your expertise? Dr. Phil, Dr. Ruth, or Dr. Dre?
I have to say Dr. Dre.
Damn.
What?
Damn. NWA style.
Yeah, NWA
man.
style.
All right. Oh man,
damn.
I'll go with Dr. Phil. I'll go
Okay.
with Dr. Phil.
You going Dr. Phil?
Yeah, I've been, man, you know, the other day I was thinking about it. Married 25 years, but dating, you know, if I include the dating, man, I'm pushing 27.
That's huge.
It is. It's crazy.
I've only been with someone for close to 11 years.
Okay.
But never been married though.
It takes a lot of commitment. It takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of understanding, you know, to put your life into someone else's hands, that they're going to take good care of you for the rest of your life. And, you know, you have to have that trust, I'm sure.
You know what? I hope I do a good job of speaking this out really quick. So, you know, Jordan Peterson. Jordan
I
Peterson.
want to say I've heard of him.
So he was asked about marriage, and his take on marriage was raw, bro, just raw. He says, well, he's like, you know, the marriage, when it says, you know, for uh, you know, the commitment, you know, till death do us part. He's like, if you stick to that, he was like, oh, bro, and he kind of sits back in his seat. He's like, that's heavy. That's heavy, because when you get in with somebody, you know, if to know who they truly are and for them to know who you truly are, you might want to run from each other. And he says, but, you know, most couples that are willing to have the conversation about who they really are to one another, when they're ready to run, they have to remember that where you running, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you might just find that same type of situation in the next relationship. But anyhow, you were saying you're never been married.
Never.
And then me remembering what he said, because I remember when he said it, it impacted me. I was like, damn. I was like, you know what? How many marriages out of 100% of all marriages, how many marriages do what he talked about? Bro, I would have to say a very few percentage of are that where the people are both willing to be like, okay, look, man, you know, we did sign the thing about till death do us part. So you ain't going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. All right, this is who I am. You know, shit.
Or do you think they should know that before they get married?
Yeah, I think they should know that before getting married,
because you don't want to have your, you know, your life in someone's hands after you say I do, and then you find out, because I kind of feel that that may have happened even with me, even being, you know, when I got married, you know, at 26 years old, I didn't know myself well enough to give myself to someone else.
Right.
You know, at 26 years old, I was just, you know, 26 years old, still wanting to kind of, you know, live and grow. But, you know, because we see traditions from our family where, you know, our parents get married early and they get married young. They probably got married at 17, 18. So by the time you're 25 years old, they're like, what's wrong with you? You're not like us. Well, those times aren't the same, right? So when I got married at 26 years old, you know, I looked at my pictures and I'm like, dude, I was so young, man. I could have waited till I was 32 or 35. Well, life situations happen. We have kids. We don't regret what we do, what we have now. So we can't turn back the hands of time. But yeah, you definitely want to don't.
Isn't that heavy? What would you do? Would you want to know? Would you want to know? And would you be willing to also let it all out? What you are, your side. You know what I mean? Because he said something that was real honest. If you're really honest if we're honest with each other, isn't it when it's our turn? We might be nervous that as soon as they hear it all, they're ready to run out the door.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's heavy. Like you said, yeah.
That's heavy.
True.
I mean, respects to both of you guys getting married. I think the reason why I never went down that lane or that lifestyle is because growing up, I would always see my parents argue. From when I was young to as I got older, they would always argue. And I think it's because they knew each other so well that they kind of thought the wrong things about each other. Because I would talk to my mom about my dad. I'd talk to my dad about my mom.
That sound like my old relationship, man.
And then they would be stuck on what they feel that they are, but they're not. But they kind of, like, my dad met my mom when he was out of high school, and they just dated. And then my mom had me when she was 22. But I remember I'd be, obviously I would have a weekend dad. And then they got married when I turned 8. But when they got married, it was
they knew all about
they
each
were
other.
happy, but
they'll throw everything. You ain't saying shit to me that I don't know. you come here. No, hold on, Paul. Get your ass in the room. I told you, get your ass in the room.
And you know what's
close
crazy?
The door. Don't make me tell you again. Close the door.
What's crazy?
You better tell him something.
You know what's crazy though? My dad's name was Paul too. So like sometimes like when they're having it out, yeah. Like, what's going on? Like, you me? No, your dad. I'm like, okay. So it was just tough, man. So like my whole theory on marriage was like, I don't want to get married. I see my parents argue all the time. So
and unfortunately, I honestly can resonate with that because when I had to go through a divorce, I seen that, because I have unconditional love for my kids, right? And you've seen my kids grow, and even going through that cycle, I would bring my kids in for the weekend because I was learning how to have my kids during the weekends. And at that time, didn't have a home. I was in a displaced situation. I didn't have a home to stay. You knew that I was staying at the office every once in a while. And so these are truths that we can talk about here. And this is where we should be able to share these things because no one's perfect. So, for my mistakes that I made in my relationship, I paid for them. Went homeless, went without, but we still did things for others. We still helped homeless people. We still went out there and did more for others than we did for ourselves. So I knew that my supreme being, my God, will be able to take care of me. But, me making mistakes in my relationship, it has put a damper on my children.
Yeah.
In the way that they were thinking about me, or at least I thought that they were thinking about me because of, the separation from their mother. I thought that, they would be suffering a little bit, of that anxiety of not wanting to go on into a relationship.
Yeah.
Or it could have changed their mood and to change them to this or to that. And I don't want to put them in a confused mode. At certain times, I couldn't even do shit. I would pick them up for the weekend and literally just sit in the office for the whole weekend because I didn't have bread to do nothing. So we would be sitting in the office, coloring, playing catch, playing golf, doing all the little stuff that we can do.
Sometimes that's more meaningful than actually having the money to do it, though.
That's true. But it played a factor in my mind that I wasn't doing enough and that I wasn't of value. So I went into, a bit of depression, bro. To be honest with you, it was a long time. And I had to really put the blinders on and just keep believing in God that he's going to be able to take care of me. Obviously, our friendship means the world to me. And to see you continuously grow in the word of God always gives me confidence as well, too. And to see that you stand firm in the word and that you're not afraid to show your love for God. Because I remember when, we got together at church one time and you brought yourself to God. That's still an eye-opening experience for me, man. So that lets me know that God is real and that he can pull you through anything. And so now got a nice career, got a good job, and got a wonderful woman that believes in me now. I'm not married, but I do have someone that's in my corner that, that believes in me. It makes the relationship much sweeter now.
Question: with your parents separated?
No.
Oh, wow.
My parents they still stuck it out, stayed together.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
my pops passed away 2019 November due to cancer. Man, he had renoma renoma cancer with Mets. So he had one kidney because one kidney got snatched from cancer. Then fast forward, I want to say maybe 15 years or maybe 20 something years, he ended up getting cancer in his last kidney. And the doctor said, "There's no way you're getting out of this one." I was asking the doctor like, "What could we do?" And they were saying like, "Hey, there's nothing you can really do. It's gonna come." So my dad tried to wrap his head around it and try to switch up his diet and do certain things. And his older sister is a nurse, and what made my dad happy was him riding 23 miles every day from one city all the way to another city. And his older sister was like, "Stop riding your bike," because when you do active stuff, when you have cancer, it only makes it.
It escalates it.
Yeah.
It
If you
speeds
work
it up.
out, if you do any kind of fitness and someone has cancer, it's gonna make it grow, spread faster.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. So he passed away right after he turned 65, and I think my parents, the closest they ever got is when my dad got cancer. I think my mom really felt the true love. It's basically what I was trying to tell her. But when you know, in that era, their era, I guess they felt that what they felt was right, even though it was wrong. You get stuck in your beliefs, you get stubborn, and you think this and that, and it might not be true. In their mind, they thought that was true. I would try to be the middle guy to guide them to get closer to each other and say, "Hey, you guys are wrong with what you guys think."
Yeah.
But a relationship's what you make it, and sometimes people don't have the mental capacity to oversee their stubbornness and their pridefulness.
Absolutely. That's well said, man. And that's I commend you for opening up.
Yeah,
Obviously, that's
yeah,
we
appreciate it.
all grown men here, and this we should be able to do this. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's good stuff, man.
You know that then, because I actually mistakenly thought that they had maybe separated,
Oh no,
and then your parents didn't separate, my parents didn't separate. But let me ask you something: had they been separated, would that have any effect on the way you treated both of them and the relationship you had with either one of them?
No, but to add to what Paul was saying, because I love them both, but sometimes you have to love them enough to say you didn't make a choice, because it could be your health or your happiness. And sometimes, it ends up being someone's health. And then, like he says, when someone's health goes down, then that's when they start to bring the joy back. It has to be something painful that they go through in order for them to experience the happiness that they should have arrived at the very beginning. Like you had said, it's better to ask these tougher questions at the very beginning to find out who you're dealing with
yeah,
from the very beginning. Are you a freak? Okay, shit. You was a freak. You had threesomes. Tell me what's happening.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? These might be some hurtful conversations, but
yeah,
look, was
yeah.
you a super freak? Let me know. So I got thumbs, I got everything else. We can figure this out. You know what I'm saying? But I want you to be with me.
Yeah,
I got all the tools, but I just
Yeah.
need to be with me. So
Yeah.
and if I was the same way, I need to let you know. Like, okay,
Yeah.
this is what it was about.
Yeah.
As long as you have that transparency and you're open with your partner and you're honest, then that's what it is. Because I see people that I went to high school with that live a certain lifestyle that I would never think about leading, but their partners are happy. They're happy in their life. They're happy in their lifestyle. I don't want to be condemning them or judging them, but that's just what they do, right?
Yeah.
So, but people that are dealing with just a relationship between a man and a woman, you handle that in a certain fashion.
Yeah.
But looking back at my mom and dad's relationship and saying to myself, when my dad had passed away, my mom had said, "Man, your dad, I should have left a long time ago, but I held on so long, because they were holding on because of the kids."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They hold on because of
I
the
get it.
kids.
Yeah.
They hold on because, oh man, I don't want nobody else raising my son, or I don't want nobody else raising my daughter. And that's what it is. You think about predators, you think about creeps,
Mm-hmm.
and all that stuff. But you gotta just give it to God. I literally just had to give it to God. I didn't want to continuously hold on to those negative relationship issues and problems in my head. I just gave it to God and said, God, you're gonna help figure this out so that I can get my relationship back with my kids, and you're gonna get me on a path to success again where we were before. And I'm gonna just put my head down, work hard, and believe in you. And He's got me to where I am today, and I'm super grateful and thankful for it. So
Man,
I'm glad to be here for sure.
Respect, man.
You know, I have my marriage that I'm currently in right now is my second.
Yeah.
I have a divorce in my background.
Right.
And I have 2 kids from that first marriage.
Okay.
And so it is a big deal when you think about it's your kid. You do so much for your kids. I had some real conversations with them, man. You know, I knew because I was going to college, you know, and in order for me to get free childcare at college, I needed to take parenting classes.
Wow.
And so so it was parenting classes and volunteering at the daycare.
Yeah.
And so I learned the psychological aspect of parenting and marriage. And 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 so when I heard that, I realized I was like, dang, you start hearing the statistics too. The statistics about children, they come from broken homes. And I'm like, damn. And I'm like, and as much as, you know, I love my children, I'm like, I had to face the reality that like, I'll be stupid to think that if I don't do something about this, they can. Well, why would they be any different when it says that these are the statistics that children that come from broken homes? For me to think that they couldn't slip into that statistic, right?
Yeah.
So it made me operate differently. So I operated way differently.
So you
bro.
took that into consideration.
Oh, yeah, and it still happened. You know, the divorce still happened, but the way I fathered was different.
Yeah.
You know, and the reason why I was bringing this up because like I had thought that I wanted to see if you had felt any different towards them, but they didn't. So
Yeah.
so the question is in our situation, and you know, and I guess one of these days I'll ask my kids because my kids are grown already. You know, my 2 oldest.
Oh, you wanna?
You know, and
Yeah.
I want to ask them like, you know, are you mad at me?
Yeah.
Are you mad at the situation?
That's a good conversation to have.
You know what I'm saying? You know, and because I think about it and I say to myself, you know, I'm gonna be real, and this is my parents are still married right now. So then I can say to myself, if my mom and dad were divorced, I really love them both, man, to an extent where I have individual relationships with them differently. Like the way me and my mom get along is way different the way me and my dad get along.
Yeah.
And I don't see that changing, even if they were separated.
Right. You
That's
still have
exactly
that.
right.
Yeah.
Because my kids treat me exactly the same as I'm still their same dad. So that same love, but in my mind, I used to think that they're going to treat me different because I made that separation. Now, at the very beginning, there was some confusion. There were, you know, because I had a small, my little ones were 9, 8, and 9. So, you know, much love to my little ones, but they were definitely confused and hurt. And what used to hurt me was when they used to say, "Hey, Dad, what are you going? Are you coming home?
Mm.
Are you coming back? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that?" So I was like, "Oh, you know, how do you really explain to these little guys that no, Dad's not coming home?" So it took me a little time to break it into them and let them know, like, I'm not coming back home. I'm not going back to that without damaging their mother's relationship with them, without talking negative about their mother, still allowing them to treat their mother like a queen that she is to them, you know, without damaging their relationship. Even though I used to have emotional feelings and, you know, resentment differences about that person, because, you know, a man or a woman will be lying to you right now in your face if they told you, "Oh, I'm done with his ass. I'm just walking away. I don't give a shit about what the fuck he talking about. I'm fucking gone, bitch. Bye." You're a motherfucking lie if you think that you can walk away from a relationship like that. So you're gonna have some things, you know, lingering in your mindset. You know, you could be frustrated. You could have some anger. You could have some resentment. You could be, you know, some people are remorseful. Some people wanted to do things and get back or whatever.
Kind of hit home because he said a lot of people do it with materials, but they don't do it with their woman. He said, when you go look for a car, do you check to see how many miles is on it? Yeah. Do you see how many drivers drove it? Yeah. Do you check the bells and whistles? Yeah. Then how come you don't do that with a woman? And I'm like, damn.
Because of like, you don't want to be hurtful to them. You know?
Yeah.
You don't want to be hurtful to them saying, well, you know that every guy you with, the DNA stays with you, right? So what's the body count?
100 years or 10 years?
What's the body
DNA's
count?
10 years, right?
I don't know. That's a lot of body counts.
10.
I don't know.
10 years that
Let's not even talk about the spiritual intertwining.
Oh, well, it's crazy that he said that though.
But let's move on to the next question. And so, Paul, in your experience or opinion, in marriage, who wears the pants in the family, bro? We just got you in trouble, man.
Wow. That's tough. And the reason why I say that is because I would say the man, because the woman is in the man's life to balance the man. And I don't know how you guys feel, but you guys have been married. But then on certain situations, I'll let a woman lead if it's something in her expertise. I'll let her wear the pants for that subject, but not
You can wear it on Sundays.
not all the
On
time.
Sundays only.
Just one leg.
Yeah. But I would say the man wears the pants because the man runs the household and the woman's there to balance and nurture the man.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if a lot of people would agree, but that's just my opinion.
I think in this day and age, you're going to get a lot of women that are going to push back on that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
hey, stand your ground.
Yeah. Stand your ground.
T, what's your take?
Well, because I come from a different perspective, men are to wear the pants in the family, but your pants will get tested. Are they skinny jeans? You know what I'm saying? Are they spandex? So it depends on what type of man. Are they Spanx? Because the men, the women right now are relentless, man. Men are too.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that, but there's some women that have become super independent to where when you're in a relationship with them, they don't want to give up control of just their feelings. Of sometimes they have to, I don't know, man. I don't want to, say
Do it,
too
man.
much.
Do it.
Ruffle some feathers.
Ruffle feathers, man.
Well, like I said, man, like women are wearing a lot of pants these days.
Yeah.
Because when you start to become a lot more equal with men in terms of whatever it takes, whether it's money, you're making just as much money as someone. In mine, it happened to where because I didn't make as much as my ex at a certain point in time because the power shifted. I went to take care of my kids, because them working a specific position wasn't enabling them to take care of the boys. So then I had to stop doing what I'm doing to take care of my kids in order for us to be successful. But that went to their head because they started working in a dominant trait, a dominant field, male dominant, and it started to become more alpha, mentally alpha, and started to bring those issues back to the house saying, well, you're not doing this. I'm working with so-and-so and he's making this.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Can I interject?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
So
Preach.
The relationship that I was in for 11 years, one of the reasons why we split up is because she was in a male dominant industry and she was making hand over fist great money. But it got to her head to the point where she would bring her work home to the house.
Yes.
And I told her, I said, look, I'm a man no matter what type of job you have. I'm the man here. There's a way you speak to me. You're not going to talk to me like I'm your employee because I'm not. I said, if you keep doing that, I'm going to have to lean left.
Yeah.
So I told her and, she kept insisting because when people get jobs, they get titles,
That's right.
They get big headed for a while until they
jaw japping.
Yeah, until they really, I guess, figure out how their role play is at the job site. But yeah, I mean, I had to leave because I'm not about to be controlled and you're not a guy.
And it's funny how you give them advice. You say, hey, you know what? Hey, I would advise you to do this. This sounds like a great idea. As a leader, as the man, as the provider, as
with you, I hear
you,
the
man, right?
Yeah,
I think this is a good idea. X, Y, Z. This will probably take us to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nah, I don't want to deal with that. That's just like I don't know where you heard that from, but it's just no. I'm not even not even thinking about it. No, but damn, you shoot it down. You shoot that idea. Yeah, I don't want to hear none of that. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't. That doesn't sound stupid.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, come back to you. Hey, what do you think about this? Damn, didn't I just tell you that 2 weeks ago?
But they heard it from somebody else.
They heard it from so and so at work.
Yep.
Who they have
now it makes sense.
Much more intimate conversations with than they would with you at home. And the reason why they open up to people like that is because women always think that someone else wants to hear their shit more than you do.
Right.
Even though you commit all those hours to listening to everything that they got to say, because another man is going to give them 5 minutes of attention to hear their point and then agree or give them some sort of insight. they're gonna come back to you to think that they just gave you the fucking answer that
Yep.
you already gave them 2
Yep.
weeks ago.
Yep.
And then I feel disrespected because you're undermining my leadership skills as
Right.
a leader of the house,
Right.
whether you're a husband, whether you're a boyfriend or whatnot.
You feel some kind of way.
You feel some sort of way.
Yeah.
You're like, how are you taking this dude's advice that I just gave you? And then, I didn't understand it the way. Oh, so you had intimate time to talk about it, and him to drill it in your ass.
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
your take?
did he?
What's your take, Rube? How do you feel about that?
You know, mine's comes from a situation. Mine's comes from advice that I give my daughters. You know, so like it's funny because the advice that I give my daughters is lessons that didn't necessarily pan out in my marriage. You know, and so one of the ones that I truly believe in, and I'm telling this to my daughters, and so if you guys are listening, this is for you guys again.
Eavesdrop.
You know, that whatever it is that you guys are both into, you know, you guys should be doing it. You guys should grow together. I'm talking about, and I'm not talking about, you know, yeah, we could talk about the dating stuff. I'm talking about the stuff that's real, like the personal development.
Yeah.
You know, the self-development, you know, the reading the scriptures, you know, having faith, you know, the things that are intangible that while people work on themselves, and if the partner isn't working on themselves, they're going to end up being somebody's going to be left behind.
Mm-hmm.
And when that person's left behind, that's when the differences are really evident.
Right.
And that's when the problem starts. And then that's when you start having, you know, a temptation to look elsewhere because you might find it somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it's because you've done work on yourself and the other person hasn't done work on themselves, or it's vice versa. The other person did work on themselves and you're still trailing behind on working on yourself.
Yeah.
But that's what it comes down to me. So of course, you know, I'm still married. And I don't have that necessarily the way I would like it for it to be. Sometimes I feel like I'm into things, you know, and then my spouse isn't into things, you know. And I'm not talking about, you know, like a show. I'm not talking about, you know, a concert. I'm not talking about, you know, stuff like that, or a restaurant. I'm talking about the work, the internal work. Everybody's marriage is a mix of either of desire for it to be better, it could be better, or it's not better. You know, and so
It's the same.
It's never just right.
It's more of the same.
It's never like I love exactly where I'm at. It's always like you could do better. It's never like, you know what, babe, you know, you could there could be some gratification, like, you know what, you're doing great. You know what, you're doing great. Let's keep being great together. Let's meet each other where we're at. Like you're saying, you got to meet them where they're at. But for some odd reason, man, it just seems like it's never good enough. You can say, oh, you know, I love you every day. You can send text messages every day that you care about them. You can be interactive. You can be supportive. And sometimes that's still not enough. It's still not romantic enough. Oh, I seen this TV show and, you know, so-and-so is treating this person like that. Oh, man, I wish I could be swept off my feet like that. Well, I'd be like, well, I wish I could have that industry money too. I wish I could have that, that money that they got to do what they're doing, you know?
But I think it's even harder for them though to even engage in relationships.
Women.
I'm just saying, like, if they got industry money.
Oh, they got, yeah, exactly. Because they don't have the skill sets. They don't have the natural ability to sell themselves to someone without pulling out a wallet.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people, you know, they want to see a wallet before, you know, the women like to see the wallet. They don't give a fuck. They look, your shit could be this big. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But if your wallet's like that.
But what's so crazy about that? Can we talk about that for just a second?
That's what we're here
what's
for,
so crazy about that? Let's just say, you know, let's say I got $1 million. Let's say I got $1 million, right, to play with. Let's just say you got 20,000. Let's say Rube has like, I don't know, $500,000, right? As a man, I can pay less. I can pay less because I have the money. But as a man that has, you know, 20,000, you got to do a whole lot more work to impress upon a girl.
Oh yeah.
But it sucks because a woman thinks a relationship is about monetary consumption when really it's about our connection. Because we can get that together. I mean,
and what they can build together.
Yeah, we can build that together. So I don't understand where they get, like, where women and males get the fact that it's like, oh, well, what does your bank account look like?
It's competitive.
It's crazy.
It's too competitive, man.
It's crazy.
It's like, why should it be that competitive? I mean, sometimes the happiest people are the broke people.
Yeah.
You know, you see people in third world countries where they don't even got a goddamn road. And they walking on barefoot,
That's
throwing rice and then feeling great.
You go to Singapore and eat like a champ for $2.
Man. Thailand, they said that you can have a whole day
for $3.
$3 or $4, you eating fat.
Yeah.
And taxi rides for like 30 miles for like $5.
Noodles all day.
Whatever. I had a couple of them shrimp in there.
Noodle.
All right, let's switch gears real quick. Paul, in your opinion, your experience or your opinion, but actually it's your experience too, because we all got kids, so this is going to be in our experience. When raising children, should you be a parent or a friend?
Off the top, I'm going to be a parent. Why? I got to teach them the core values of life. There's 2 paths you could take, the right path or the wrong path. And these are going to be the repercussions of the choices that you made. These are going to be the consequences of the bad choices you made. I always tell my son, like, when we go out, I'll have him look at a homeless person. I'll be like, hey, do you want to make choices to put yourself in this situation? Or do you want to have the lavish lifestyle, the nice car, the nice home? I said, all it takes is to use your brain with respect and just pour your energy into the right things, and you will have what you want from this life, and believe in God. Tell them that. So yeah, I think parent first. Friend, if we're talking about, choosing the right friends, what type of friends you have, around you, I could talk to them as a friend on that level, but I'm still a parent at the end of the day.
Did you have that that debate, or is it obvious with his mom, where his mom is maybe more of a friend and it like undermines things that you?
No, his mom is she's a parent. She's harder on him too. I think she might be harder on him.
Good.
Yeah.
I do the parent. I'll do the parent. I'll select that, and then the friend thing. It always comes back because they're in different stages. My oldest is in his 30s. Then my next one is 30, and the next one is about to be 25, and then the next one's going to be 22. So the oldest one and the next oldest one already we've established the friend thing already. But the other ones no. And so the other ones that are a little bit younger, I have these conversations. I say, look, because sometimes they need to get lectured.
Yeah.
I'm talking, sit your ass down. You're about to get a lecture right now. And then I know that they roll their eyes. I know that they hate it, but will come right out of my mouth as well, as I'll say, listen, right now I am your parent and I need to be your parent. I'm not here to be your friend.
Yeah.
I go, now look, there is going to be a day when this goes away.
Yeah.
And all I'm going to care about is probably what you want to call a friendship relationship, where I just want to know how you're doing. I want to hear you're doing well, and I want to hear the laughs, and I want to hear the joys, and I want to enjoy that like that. Yeah. I go, but we ain't there yet. You know what I'm saying? So right now I'm going to be a parent, and then when you'll know that day when it comes, because you'll be like, damn, I ain't had a lecture in a while.
Yeah.
My dad ain't stressing over that.
We don't need to have that.
Yeah. Because at one point, I'm not even going to point out your struggles. I'm going to say, like, hey, man, I ain't here to bail you out no more. You got enough wisdom now to figure that out yourself.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to ask me, you can ask, but you ain't going to hear me volunteer nothing.
Yeah.
Give me my grandbaby.
They don't talk back right now. Yeah. Grandbaby ain't talking about it.
What about you, Big Todd?
For me, I'm definitely a parent. I think with my oldest son, Ashton, it's becoming that friendship now, where I don't have to speak to him, like my son and check up on him. He has a greater responsibility now, living in Washington and, working with Zillow and doing his own thing. So I'm really, really proud of him. He's 24 years old. Really just took off right at 21 years old to go and do it, like an adult. That's what he chose to do. So I just supported him. And then on his way, he had a couple rough bumps, but he got through it. My 18-year-old, my 13-year-old, and my 12-year-old, yes, I'm definitely still father, dad, 100%. I think with Braylon, my 18-year-old, it's changing. He'll be 19 this month. So it's changing a little bit, but I still have to be father figure because it's just the way it is. They have to learn those simple mechanics of being a young man, being polite, being respectful, being honest. Shaking a man is with the right hand, look at him in his eyes.
Yep.
I know my oldest son, Ashton, one time, he's probably watching this one time, but one time we went to Tilly's, and I said, hey, man, I know the manager, man. He going to give us a deal on some stuff, so, just act accordingly. Go in there, pick out some stuff that you want. Oh, boy, going to give us a little deal, right? And this is Ashton when he's 12. I said, okay, introduce you to, okay. I said, so-and-so, this is Ashton. Ashton, this is so-and-so. Put your right hand out to shake my hand. This is Ashton. What's happening? What's happening? With the left hand.
Did he look at him?
Like, what's happening? With his left hand, he was like, what's up, man? I was like, man, nah, man. I said, yeah, man, I'm gonna pull you outside right now. I said, hold on, man. Hold on. So I had to pull him outside. And I still remember that time, and he probably remembers it too. I pulled him outside. I said, man, don't you ever, man. If I introduce you to somebody, man, don't you ever left hand dap nobody, bro.
Damn. That's disrespect.
It's so disrespectful. He didn't know. He was only like 12 or 13 years old at the time. So
that's fair.
So I said, okay, cool. I said, man, don't ever left hand dap somebody like that. And then he didn't think it was a big deal, but I said, man, it's so disrespectful because the dude is, he's going out of his way, giving us a discount on a lot of clothes and shit. You gonna left hand dap him? Yeah, but that's when you have to take the parenting serious. But yeah, I'm a parent more than I'm a friend for sure.
Right on, right on. All right, these next two are questions. For you to select a statement. So in one instance, it's you got friends that are women, right? You got some women that are friends, and so like if you're gonna give some advice to a woman, she's a good friend of yours, and she's just maybe saying some things, and you're like, you know what, man, I got something I got something I want to tell you. So you choose A or B. Would you tell your friend, man, an incapable man blames the tools, not his hands, or you don't need a broke stick to walk with?
You don't need a broke stick to walk with. Is
there a reason?
Well, there's a lot of reasons. The stick is broke.
Yeah.
Unless you want to walk like Hunchback of Notre Dame or Dom.
Yeah.
And don't use that stick.
Carrying the weight.
Yeah.
Carrying the weight.
All right.
Yeah, same here. It's you don't need a broke stick to walk.
Yeah.
You can stand on your own 2 feet. You can move, forward. You don't need someone holding you back. In certain instances, you can actually propel yourself, believe in yourself. You can educate yourself. You can take your time. You can enjoy yourself. You don't have to go out there and rush into dating, but just be the beautiful being that you are. Take care of yourself first, and you'll attract those who want to be attracted to you.
Well said.
Right on, right on.
What about you?
Yeah,
I feel that I'll probably pick the same one that you don't walk with, because I feel that even the person can be broken.
Yeah.
And that person can be broken to the point where they don't want to do any work on themselves.
Yep.
They don't want to do anything to fix themselves and getting out of those situations that they might be in. And so what they do is they want somebody, they like crabs, right? The crab in the bucket. They want to just, or misery loves company, right? They just want to keep. And so you don't need that broke stick to walk with,
right.
But on the other end, to just talk about the other one, in case people our listeners, our eavesdroppers are wondering, what about that other side? Well, that other one is the incapable man blames the tools. I would say that, and then let's explore that. I think to me, that means that it's a dude that doesn't want to take responsibility.
Consistently making excuses.
Not taking accountability.
Yeah. He's not taking accountability. He's like, man, it's these fucking tools.
and a lot of people still do that.
And as men, you got to think there probably was a stage in each one of our lives where we did that.
Oh yeah, I did it.
Because if I look back, I would say that too. I would say that even in my past marriage I utilized some of those excuses to to get away with shit because that's the immature level of being.
Yes.
I was at that time.
I was definitely
I'm not that person no more and nowhere near that.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to taking more accountability and responsibility within my life, so I don't have to go through that anymore. But
I was definitely on some John Legend. Let's play the blame game.
He said the give me the green light.
All right. This statement is for a man. So you got your friend, you got your boy, man. You
homies.
You got to give him some advice, man. But
oh shit,
it's either A or B.
That's Todd first. I want to
so
hear what Todd
he's
has.
gonna say.
Let's go with Todd first. So,
Yeah.
so T, you're gonna tell your friend some harsh realities. So here's the one: A or B. It's better to live on the corner of a roof than to share a house with a contentious woman. Better to be single and at peace than with someone who brings chaos.
Well, I've chose the latter. So I've chose that. And it took a long time because I was that dude living in the corner of the house and thinking to myself, man, every time I came home when I was in a bad relationship, when I would come home, I would go straight to a certain spot in my room just so that would be my own little piece. And I would smoke a ton of weed at that time.
Dang.
I was smoking. Can we say the N-word out here? But I was smoking. I was burning down the house. It wasn't a good thing for my health, nor was it a good look in front of my kids. But at that time, I didn't know anything else. I didn't know any other release because I didn't think that there was a way to get released out of my situation mentally. And so, yeah, it's better to make that choice and be single and, have a free, clear, conscious mind and know that, like I told you before, that God has you and will support you on that mission and to becoming a better version of yourself.
Could you read back B to me so I could get into this?
He said B.
That's what I chose. I chose B.
B back.
Something about chaos.
Yeah, B is better to be single and at peace than with someone who brings chaos.
Yeah. So yeah, B. I would not want to be with anybody that's chaotic because they're always going to land you in trouble wherever you go. You got girls that cling to attention from anybody, and then you're like, girl, what are you doing? You're with me. Like, you don't need attention from anybody. And then, they want to see, I want you to fight this guy for me. No, I'm not doing that.
Like, bip.
I'm good. People have guns nowadays. I'm cool. I don't want no smoke.
I've been working this finger out.
Yeah, I ain't a tough guy. Yeah, I'm not a tough guy. I'm cool. Like, I don't like the chaotic women, and definitely not choosing a girl that's crazy. I like to hold my ground and be calm.
But when do you find out that they're crazy though? It's never on the first night.
I mean, there's always red flags. I mean, she's quick to go through my phone ASAP. No, that's my personal. That's my business. If she's calling me every 2 seconds, ask me where I'm at. That's a red flag. If she's disrespecting my mom, or
you out of here.
She thinks I'm trying to holler at my own sister, that's a red flag. I mean, there's a lot of different things that can happen. I mean, that's just the mental aspects. Some girls like to fight when they get out, when they go outside and go to the bars or go to restaurants. They want to fight, or I mean, there's a lot of things. We're just giving you examples.
There's a lot. Yeah.
I go on and on and on, but yeah, B for me. What about you, Rube?
You know what? Mine just A.
Wow.
But I'm not going to necessarily define my wife as a contentious woman, but I joke about that a lot.
Really?
Because for instance, you guys said you had mentioned that you said you remember as a kid that their parents would be fighting, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we don't fight, but we don't hold back anymore. So we tell it like it is.
So you mean what you say and say what you mean.
Yeah, we tell it like it is now. So we take shots at each other.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
So I'll wait. I'll be like, okay, all right. So then I'll wait for one time where I'll see you slip up, and I'll be like, oh, here's my turn.
Call that one up. So you like to one up each other. That's what.
Oh yeah. And you know what? There's some lighthearted and there's some fun about it, because in the end you just forgive. You just and you know what? It's easy to it's water under the bridge And it depends, because the kind of person that she is, it truly is water under the bridge.
That's cool.
In about an hour.
That's
in about an hour. It's
a good thing.
and
That's
that's something
cool.
that taught me something,
Yeah.
because I'm a grudge holder.
I was gonna tell you, I used to hold
your
grudge.
foot's on the gas pedal, like, well, ain't no breakup in here.
And so I learned from that.
I used to hold grudges.
And I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm if she can let go,
I'm gonna
I
let
can
go. That's fair.
So we have fun now with the taking shots.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so I was just saying this the other day to her, man, because I was eating, sitting down eating dinner, and she had something smart to say. She had something smart to say again.
Got your
Something
ass.
smart to say again. And I said, man, you know what? That's why I always got. Let me hurry up and finish these so I can go hit my roof.
That's kind of cool if you look at it that way, though. Honestly,
Yeah.
tick for tack, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. All right, cool. That brings an end to the relationship part. Now the conspiracies.
Oh shit!
All right, so we started a section with you started. We started. I'll start this section. So the question is, how do you grade your interest in conspiracies? Are you a critical thinker, somebody who dives down rabbit holes, or are you a tinfoil hat wearer? I proudly am a tinfoil hat wearer. Because I've been like that since 2003.
Wow.
2003, and then now you got to understand, 2001 was 9/11.
Yeah.
Right. So, didn't really think much about it. I really did think that we were attacked and all that stuff. But in 2003, I met a guy who he told me to watch a movie, and it was a movie by a guy named Aaron Russo, and it's called From Freedom to Fascism.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about, and it it was a documentary at that, not even a movie, it was a documentary. So that documentary talked about the IRS, it talked about the politicians, it talked about the local governments. And this was just a guy who wanted answers. He just wanted answers, and he was very professional. He was already a well-known director and producer. So the fact that he was getting so much pushback, and then of course, in the way the documentary ends up playing out is he does have volunteer, people who are willing to talk. Like, hey man, you know what? I'm willing to talk off camera, or I'm willing to sit down and talk.
Mm-hmm.
And so as I'm watching this documentary unfold, I'm like, damn. I was like, you know what? I don't trust the government.
Yeah.
Lock it down.
I don't trust the government.
Yeah.
No more.
Done.
I'm good.
Yeah. So, how about you, my friend? All right. What's your conspiracy rating? Are you a critical thinker? You dive down rabbit holes, or are you a tinfoil hat wearer?
I'm not tinfoil. I will dive down rabbit holes just because I've experienced so many different things, and I see myself researching, and I see this. I'm like, chemtrails, huh? I need to know more about that. Why are they putting this? What's in it? Why, so I can see myself diving into so many rabbit holes. Or what's on the other side? So what's on the other side? What's on the bottom part of the flat piece?
Rubbish.
The mountains go backwards? Does the mountains go the opposite way? What is
what they say in the Transformers? What'd he say? He said he woke him up. He said, "Oh, you guys live on this rubbish."
shitty earth. Huh? Wow.
Decepticons.
Yeah. I would choose A and B.
Okay.
If I'm able to do so. Critical thinker plus rabbit holes. Zeitgeist for the 9/11. Chemtrails. I mean, I've done research on chemtrails, and ain't nobody gonna tell me that you're just gonna have a long streak in the sky and it's
just not smoke.
Normal.
That's not smoke.
Nah, heck, no.
Ice. Exhaust.
Let's just call it exhaust.
Yeah, that should be a tune-up.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'll go down those rabbit holes and do the research and find out who's saying what, and I critical think. Got to critical think. Ain't no building in New York gonna fall at free fall speed, and you're gonna call it a accident.
Yeah.
You know what's always been funny about the 9/11 situation is Building 7.
Yeah.
You got the 2 twin towers that fell.
I know about 7.
And then 7 miles down the road, concrete buildings.
Yes.
collapse.
Still.
And the only thing that was going on was a fire in there.
Yeah.
It was just a fire.
A fire's not gonna make it collapse.
Yeah, the fire's not gonna make it collapse, but you know, you can't ask him questions. You know
The 9/11 commission report never came out.
Yeah, man. So that's just barely us tapping into that.
Start over. Start this thing over.
Allegedly.
Yeah, start over.
Man. So the second question is, what conspiracy theory do you think deserves more attention and why?
9/11.
Oh, okay. Why? Because there's so many others, but
so I'll just speak directly. How come the Jewish community got the phone call not to show up to work on 9/11?
They were
allegedly.
Yeah. I heard about that.
And then on top of that, the CEO that built the building said that building was designed for 3 Boeing planes to hit the building structure and it'd still be standing. It's not going to just pancake effect, you know? And then not only that, if you and I, all 3 of us were to go to the World Trade Center and try to go to the top, we're not, because it's like JPL. You got to have passes. You got to have permission slips to enter each level. There's a reason why you're in that building. It's the World Trade Center. You can't just happily take a tour and go through. So that's a few reasons why I believe
that one needs more attention.
Way more attention.
And you're saying that would you if you were able to poll the United States population, you think that it's half and half that people think it's a conspiracy, or half? No, basically that the government did it. Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
I think the government did it personally.
And how much of the population you think believes that versus they don't? It's like they think that it was like, no, you know, that was a.
I would hope that majority of the population would believe it. I mean, you've seen buildings topple down in Vegas. It's an implosion. Is the Rolls-Royce engines or GE, because those are the only 2 companies that make those engines. And they only burn at 200 Fahrenheit, 250 Fahrenheit. So you mean to tell me a plane we all know the material, it's not heavy material. Nothing on the plane is heavy at all. So you're telling me a building can go into a steel and cement building and knock it down at free fall speed? It just doesn't add up. So if people aren't thinking and using their brains, then there's an issue.
And I'd like to add that we've all, and you know, especially dudes love watching destruction. Like they just like, oh man, they're, you know, cars, you know, car demolitions, you know, building them. Oh, they're gonna let the building's gonna go down. Everybody's right there with their popcorn, and sure enough, that building goes down. Right?
Both of them.
Hey, so when you think about controlled demolition, how is it that controlled demolition everywhere else that they said it's controlled demolition, you're like, oh yeah, it's controlled demolition, and because it's known it's controlled demolition, and the same type of way, everything about it is the same thing, but it happens over here, but they don't say that it's controlled demolition.
Right.
You're not able to critical think enough to say, wait a minute, man, that looks like controlled demolition, man.
Yeah.
And then the one about the Pentagon.
Oh yeah,
that's what I was gonna say too. I thought to myself that was totally false. I mean, how can a plane go through and land in the Pentagon? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, 2 things about the Pentagon. Then I forgot about that
because they said a plane landed. I'm like, dude, how did the plane land? You know, you got all these fighter jets. You could have hit that. You could have, you know,
especially going after the Pentagon.
Especially going after the Pentagon, and then it had a chance to go in the Pentagon's yard, land, and then scrape through and go through the buildings and set fires. To me, that was a whole bunch of bullshit. To me, I was like, you know what? Now you're trying to, you know, take our attention off of the towers to say that there's something else that happened here when we really should be looking at the footage that we've seen at 6 o'clock in the morning here on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Literally, I got up in the morning. I was like, oh, there was a fire in the building. That's crazy. And wham! You just see something happen. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It's like a movie scene, right?
Yeah.
Just like a movie.
The thing I was going to say about the Pentagon was they had announced the day before a missing 1.2 or a couple $1 trillion missing that was unaccounted for. And so obviously if we don't have an event that takes place like that. We're having hearings about what happened to that money.
What?
But
I didn't know that.
yeah, man. So why check out the Donald Rumsfeld when he talked about the missing $2 trillion, I think, misplaced or unaccounted for.
Now, can we say this? It doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican on this particular topic when it comes to the towers going down. It don't matter who you are, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter who you are. You should. I like the word you chose. You said critical think, and that's a word that we all should be using. Critical thinking from a kid that's doing math problems at school to us adults being able to assess something going on.
Life choices, yeah.
Like critical think, man.
Yeah.
That's and you know what's funny is they say that the word conspiracy theory what comes from the CIA, and they purposely did that. Let me give you an example of what the power of putting a word out there on purpose is. David Chappelle gave a great example of he said, the worst thing you can do is call somebody crazy. Because as soon as you call him crazy and people believe it, anything that he says is discredited.
Yeah.
So that same type of effect that the word crazy has about naming somebody is the same thing that conspiracy has.
Wow.
So when you say so people don't want to be even late. No, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. And it's like, but you like it's funny out in public, you doubt that this happened. You know that something fishy happened. That's a conspiracy theorist, man. Just own it.
Yeah.
Just own it.
Yeah, that's true.
If enough people owned it, there'd be enough people that, there would be enough people pushing back and asking questions.
Yeah.
But gee. Which one do you think deserves more attention and why?
Which conspiracy would you choose?
I would say I don't this is a tough one, man, but just the relevancy of the last presidency. I know that that's going to hit a lot of people wrong, but just thinking about how that whole operation for the 4 years was almost like meaningless to the economy.
You said that.
The way that I didn't see, and I'm not sitting there saying that I wasn't interested. It's just that, the way that whole thing went down, I just didn't think that presidency was real. I think that one right there was.
I love that you said that, man. And
that's a conspiracy to know that person was actually in office, actually operating our country.
Yeah.
I don't think he was really operating our country.
And I'm so glad that you said that because that's exactly what I was just going to say right now. One of the most obvious things about what you're saying is once the handoff went to Kamala. As soon as they handed off that Kamala was the one that was going to be running against Trump, she was running. She was out there campaigning. Biden is hiding somewhere. Well, we don't even know where Biden is.
I don't know. I think his battery went out of his back.
So who in the hell was running the country?
Excuse me.
Who was running the country is exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
So the fact about it does deserve more attention. We do need to know who was running the country because Kamala wasn't, and neither was Biden.
We've never seen anything like that happen.
No.
Ever.
And here's the other one. He didn't even campaign. That's like when you run for office, the bread and butter of any campaigning is that you go out and you're shaking hands,
collecting the PAC dollar.
Yeah, you're meeting people.
Yeah,
you're having interviews. You're being seen so that people have a reason to say, "Hey, man, you're the guy." But he was accused of not showing up for debates.
Yep,
hiding in the basement. They made that thing. Oh, he's in the basement. He's asleep. He's all these things, and then let's not even bring in the conspiracy of the voting transparency, the transparency of it, not allowing for there to be debate,
right?
Not allowing for people to question all the mysterious different things that were going around, voting machines, voting in general,
dead people voting,
dead people voting.
Yeah. Like how can you vote when you're dead? Twice.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So that was a good one, man. What conspiracy you think deserves more attention and why? I love that. I'm glad you brought that up. You have anything that you want to add to that?
No. I always thought something was wrong with Biden. He was different. I didn't get the president.
Huh?
I didn't get the president vibe at all.
No, it was like
I felt like he was my grandpa, or somebody's grandpa, just that had dementia.
Now, mind you, this podcast Eavesdrop is not for everyone. You're going to say some things that's definitely going to offend you.
How many people just tuned out right now?
Yeah, cut us off. You're going to cancel us. But honestly,
Unfollow.
This is what our platform is for. We use our platform wisely.
Yeah,
you don't have to follow.
I'm only saying what you want to hear. It's okay.
Right, we're speaking on your behalf.
Yeah,
play us.
Yeah, blame us. Send us to someone else.
Sorry, not sorry.
Conspiracy. I'm about to ruffle feathers right now.
Let's do it.
I was ruffling them when it happened.
Let's do
it. The one that deserves more attention is COVID.
Wait, let me ask you this. Not even to intrude. Did you get the jab?
No.
Todd, did you get the jab?
Well, you know what, man? I can't lie. I had to get. I got a shot, and
for work.
I regretted it though. So.
Damn!
After all that warning,
you got the critter. You got the critter in you. I didn't get that thing. I
got a Kangen machine right after that. So I do tell you, I got the best water to clean out my cells right there.
So what's your
you know, and it's funny too, because given that I said that I'm a tinfoil hat, that I believe in a lot of conspiracies, you know, I think this one needs more attention because I don't want anybody getting away with it, man. You know, there's a lot of stuff that happened years ago, like the Kennedy thing, you know, John F. Kennedy, you know, MK Ultra,
you
know, Mockingbird,
you
know, Paperclip. There's so many, but these happened years and years ago. This just happened. And we have an opportunity of not letting these guys off the hook, not letting them. In other words, there's a lot of people that might say, what do you mean let them off the hook? Maybe not let them off the hook, but be accountable.
Yeah.
You know, because even in 2001, you know, 9/11, people got let off the hook.
Yes.
You know, because,
yes,
you know, we never, look how long it took for there to be the 9/11 committee.
Right.
You know, and then they were going to print out, you know, the results of it. You know, I don't even know if it's, I don't even know what
the 9/11 commission statement
never
came out.
Yeah. But there's so much around the COVID thing, man. You know, there's the money aspect of it.
Big time.
You know, the money in the Pfizer, you know, and the Moderna, you know, the vaccine, you know, that it came from Wuhan, that it came from a bat, you know, that the masks work, you know, dude, look I was such a rebel that I never believed in the 6 foot, you know, distance, you know, in every damn, you know, store, drew the circles, you know, even like stores, they did what do you call them? Arrows, like you go this way and you guys go this way. There was so
even on
much,
TV shows,
more like concentration camp type shit.
Yeah.
There's just so much that I don't want to let anybody off the hook, man. I want to keep bringing it up. It needs more attention to hold people responsible.
Well, let's take the facts. Moderna, Johnson & Johnson. What was the other one that they were?
Pfizer.
Those are all stocks. So, ladies and gentlemen, whoever created these antidotes or whatever formulas, think about how much money they made off the population for everybody that got stuck, including my man Todd. Like, just think about how much money was made off these stocks.
Yeah.
And the face mask. I think it was a business move. I think it was a scam-demic and to scare people because, come on, Dr. Fauci's not my personal doctor, nor is he their personal doctors.
No.
But he's administering, you know, medical advice based on what? To say that.
But so is Bill Gates.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Oh, man.
He's telling you, well, I'm not even going to go there with that. You know what I'm saying? We get canceled twice. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, this particular podcast can be on Patreon and all the other.
Well, actually, right now, they're all coming out with, like, you know, like Facebook as of recently. You know what's funny? What's funny is when our episode 2 comes out and talks about the Twitter files, Facebook is right now Zuckerberg is on tour right now talking about, oh, the government made me do this. The government made me, you know, censor true information. The government was being real strong on me, you know, about, you know, taking things down. And, you know, we had pushback. You know, and I'm like, man, this is all coming out now, bro.
Yeah.
You know, but another thing about the COVID is, you know, some of the science. So, for instance, the mask, right?
Yeah.
You know, you know, and this is just I'm gonna go here because this is an opportunity to talk about it, man. Because they kept trying to say, you know, wear the mask, wear the mask. And here's the thing: when we talk about nano, you know, and this is why I know about this because, you know, Keef,
Yeah.
making Keef,
Yeah.
you know, there's bags, you know, so in the cannabis industry, you know, when you get, you know, you get all the shake,
Yeah.
all the leftover leaves and all the leftover, you know, all the shake that they call it, the shake. What you do is you can make keef out of that, you know, but you need bags. And these bags all have a certain level of nano holes. So the biggest one has a hole that's so big. Then the next one has a hole that's even smaller. Then the next one has a smaller hole, smaller hole, smaller. And so the idea is you put all the shake in the one with the bigger hole, and then inside of a bag that's got a smaller hole, and you shake it, and you shake it, shake it, and then what happens is all the keef starts to fall into the next one, and all the keef falls into the next one. So and eventually you get to the finest bag with the finest holes, and you keep shaking it, and what happens is you have all the shake, and then you're able to make what do you call that? What do you when you pack it? Hash. You get hash out of that. So when that was the easiest thing that I remembered when somebody brought out, when the science brought out, they said, "Do you know the size of the COVID virus?"
Mm-hmm.
And the COVID virus, they measured it by nanoscale.
Yeah.
And so they it's almost like getting all the smallest elements,
Yes.
and then to the biggest element, you know, to the size of maybe a gnat. Like a gnat is so many nanometers, but then the viruses are so many nanometers.
Mm-hmm.
And then the mask is a nanometer, so much nanometer. So the masks had the holes that was big enough that there was all kinds of stuff that went through the mask. You know what I'm saying? So that mask wasn't blocking anything.
No.
And then people were making, you know, cloth masks.
Yeah.
They're wearing the same mask every day,
She got snot on it,
forgetting
and shit.
about bacteria
Shit,
buildup.
motherfuckers blowing their nose. They
You know what I'm saying?
wiping their nose with their mask. Throw it back.
You know, and they're saying, "Put your mask on." Bro, I remember going to the restaurant, man, and I should clown the hell out of this restaurant right now, but I'm not. Oh, I should clown the hell out of this restaurant. I remember walking into this restaurant, bro, and I didn't have my mask on, right? And they said, you can't come in here unless you have a mask on. I said, wait a minute. And then you look at the tables, and nobody's wearing a mask because they're eating. All right.
Wow.
Terrible.
All right. So now look at the logic. Critical thinking, right?
Yeah, critical thinking.
Right?
I gotta come in here with a mask, but I can take it off to go eat.
Right. That was, oh my God, bro. That used to bug the hell out of me. So I walked in there, you know, and so they said, hey, you can't come in here without a mask. And I said, wait a minute. Is my table ready? Because if my table's ready, I'm taking off the mask to eat, right? Yes, but, and I'm like, why is there a but? Why is there a yes, but? Oh my God, man.
That got you fired up?
That fired me up, bro. So, you know, this does need more exposure because you know what? There's a lot of people that went along with it.
Yeah.
And those people that went along with it need to be called out.
Yeah.
Everybody, if you all eavesdrop, I don't care if you unsubscribe right now or not. Listen, man, if you were one of those ones that was getting mad at people, getting pissed off at people, being a Karen and screaming at people for not wearing a mask, how dare you, man?
Yeah.
You know, critical think this, and at least my bad. And we all make mistakes, you know what I'm saying? So own it.
100%.
Hey, I got a story for you on that.
100%.
This past weekend, I can't make this up. I'm on Southwest, so I'm sitting in the front row because I'm tall, right? I can't go sit in the back because of the little seats. So I'm sitting in the front row, right? I made this adjustment, so I'm sitting in the front. Another guy right here to my left. We're talking a little bit. Then right across the way, it's an Asian, lady, right? Asian lady. Regardless, right? She's an Asian lady. She had her mask on. Walked in the plane, took all of her stuff out. She didn't want nobody to sit next to her in the front row. This is Southwest, so you can't play those games, right? They're like, look, you don't care who you are. Get your shit. Someone's going to sit there. So then she got upset that someone had to sit there, so she's upset. She got her mask on. The lady sitting behind her, the very behind her. Can't make this up. So she's reading. The lady behind her. Everybody in the plane was like, damn. The shit, they just closed the door. They just closed the door. And we in the front row, right? And I'm sitting next to the ladies on my aisle, like over there. I was like, damn, she got a heavy cough. So the Filipino lady in the front, she goes, oh no. So she gets up. So just imagine me turning around on the seat. She turns around on the seat. She goes, excuse me. Do you want them to get you a mask because you're coughing? And the lady said, she looked at her because she was looking she said, I don't need no goddamn mask. I'm a smoker. Mind your own goddamn business. She had a whole smoker. She's like, I'm a smoker. I got a smoker cough.
Oh my
Lady was like,
god.
oh, so you're not I ain't sick. Mind your own goddamn business. So they turned around. I was like,
Oh my god.
Straight
Oh
guts.
man, I
Oh,
love
man.
that. I love that. That's
I'm
so-
a smoker.
that just went down.
Rube, didn't
Oh.
we look at what masks you need to not get coronavirus? Wasn't it like an N95? Remember we did the scale?
The N95, but eventually, okay, that's fine. If you can get your hands on an N95,
But remember we
How many
looked at
times
it
can you wear that mask?
once, or isn't it like a couple hours? 2
That's
hours?
it?
well,
Isn't it
well,
2 hours or something like that?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure about how
I
that
see people
works,
putting it in
but,
their back pocket, out the back pocket.
but that's the thing. Yeah, man, is all right. Out of 100% of the population, how many were using masks and how many were using the ones that were made in India?
Everybody, maybe?
You seen those ones?
But nobody was using N95s. They were all using the paper masks.
or the ones that they were selling on the, the ones that were selling down
Yeah, with
street,
the
man.
little
with the Lakers,
yeah,
the Dodgers.
yeah,
They
yeah.
even had ones that was see-through. They
Fashionista.
had something see-through where you can still see your mouth talking. But
Yeah.
what the fuck is that mask gonna do?
Oh man, the
Uh,
people that were wearing
The poo shiesties too.
like they would make something. They would make things, like
Yeah, I know you're talking
Beekeeper
about.
suits and
they would
shit.
make suits, man. They would make these kind of like, oh, bro, what about the people that were playing instruments? They would make a hole
Oh,
through the mask
yeah.
to play the instrument.
Not gonna lie, my son had to do that.
Right.
I'm like, come on, school.
Come on,
What
school.
are we doing?
That's crazy.
It's
You know what?
it's crazy what media can do. Media can control your mind.
Yeah. You know what? I'm glad you brought up school. And you know what pisses me off? And I feel bad, bro, because I liked high school. I had a good time in high school. I had fun. I had fun in high school. And one of my kids, this all started their junior year. And of course it carried over to their senior year.
Yeah.
So they had that bullshit graduation, man, where they all,
Yeah.
it was, nobody's invited.
Yeah.
We pulled up in the car. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
You watching graduation from in your
Yeah,
car.
bro.
graduation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they didn't get
how
that.
your principal.
Oh, don't get too close. 6 feet.
Right, bro. They no prom.
That's
You
crazy.
know what I'm saying? No
Kids didn't get to play sports, CIF
yeah, bro,
sports.
and I feel bad for him.
That affected him, huh?
Yeah. Well, it's not. I don't know if it did, but it affects the hell out of me
Yeah, it
because
affected
I'm like,
me.
man, you missed out on what I know would have been a fun time.
Yeah, my son had fun. He had a long ass summer. He was like, I don't got school, Dad. What do I do? I said, no, go do what you like doing.
That was a control. That was definitely something to control all of us, change all of our lives. For certain people out here, that has changed their lives in a different way. Sometimes I hear all these stories, man, I fucking made the most money ever during COVID. I mean, it was fucking back-to-back orders. We was like, fine, what the fuck? We about to kill ourselves.
I'm not gonna lie, I did pretty good. I had an Airbnb. I had a few Airbnbs, so
We didn't.
We got
not
We
gonna
got
lie.
hammered and shit.
down.
We got shut down.
Yeah.
We was-
Oh yeah, your business. Yeah. Damn.
Oh man. All right. Next question. What do you believe or what do you think drives people to believe in conspiracy theories?
I mean, when you watch certain people talk about if the moon is, if we've ever landed on the moon, and you hear an astronaut say we've never been on the moon, I think that drives people because we grew up watching astronauts. We grew up going to Pasadena watching the shuttle leave, only to hear that they weren't really going to the moon. So you're like, oh, you dive down that rabbit hole, so to speak, and you're looking at Buzz, whatever his name is, and all the other astronauts, and you're like, oh, these guys were actors. These guys were lying the whole time. Oh, they've never been to the moon, and now they're coming out on TV shows. I think it was Mr. Conan or what, the redhead guy, red hair,
Conan O'Brien.
Conan O'Brien. He had an astronaut.
Probably Buzz.
Aldridge or whatever his name. What's his name?
Aldridge. Yeah.
He said, "Bro, that was a myth. We never went to the moon." So I'm gonna dive down that rabbit hole and be like, "Well, what are you talking about?" Because as a kid, I saw you.
Oh, so okay, that's what you're saying. You're saying people's
So when people hear it from the source,
they what do they call it? They contradict themselves.
Yeah.
Or the story contradicts.
So hopefully I didn't. Yeah, hopefully I didn't throw you guys off. But
No.
So when I hear from the source, and I saw the source, oh, we're going to the moon, and he's like on the show telling Conan O'Brien, "No, you never saw us go to the moon. That was all CGI. It was fake. It wasn't real." And I'm like,
but just imagine
so what else is a lie?
Just imagine how many people didn't see that show. And how many people still have to live and believe in the narrative
that is true though. Yeah.
Well, you brought up a very interesting point right now. What is your take on the moon? What's your take on that?
I don't think we've ever been to the moon. I think a lot of countries and people want to say we've been to the moon, but I don't think we've been to the moon. I've heard someone say that the moon's plasma. I'm like, what? What does that mean?
I've heard that the moon was placed into our solar system because of evil doings.
Yeah, I've heard that the moon is a satellite.
Have you heard about when they talk about the dark side of the moon, that we only ever see one side of the moon?
Yeah, you only see one side. Yeah.
So what makes you think that we can see the other side of the earth?
Right. Right. Yeah. I heard that Universal Studios created the whole ball perspective.
What's that song? I meant to look it up. It's Californication by the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yes, sir.
He says that space is filmed in a Hollywood basement. I'm still open on whether the moon we land. I mean, I hold on. Let me rephrase that, because the more I see it, the more controversial it gets, bro. Because when you start looking at aluminum foil to cover up these buggies,
I saw the video.
You know, the aluminum foil on the buggies. You know, the wind.
Yes.
You know, waving the flag on the moon.
I put the video of the guy that directed the moon landing on my TikTok, and that video probably got like 2 views, bro. So I knew
shadow band.
I knew something was up.
Was it Stanley Kubrick?
I think it was him. Yeah. Older guy, had like hair, a little bit of hair.
The guy that did the movie.
He was like, I filmed. He's like, I'm the one that filmed the moon landing.
I think it was
at the studio. He was talking about he was talking about it in detail, bro.
Yeah, well, you know, I just, you know, because of my day job, I get a chance to see a lot of the different things. Today, I walked into a place in Burbank, right there by our old, off of San Fernando Road.
Okay.
A studio, and they basically, you know, all the stage, the lighting, the props, and there's no doubt in my mind that as we are creating this show here, there could have been a show created for the people that they wanted to spread the propaganda to allow us to gain more control globally.
Wow.
Through the strength of our military, through propaganda.
You're right. Actually, that's one of the strongest arguments, that that we faked a lot of space claims to project our military might. Yeah, so there's to that too. T, what do you think drives people to believe in conspiracy theories?
What drives people to believe in the conspiracy, but believing in conspiracy theories? Well, it's because what they've been doubting for so long, they find out to become true after years of doubting. And so after a certain period of time, you know, even like myself, you know, I wasn't really a true conspiracy theorist. When I started to think about certain things, I would brush things off, or, you know, I'm going to smoke that off, or whatever. I'm going to take a nap to this shit. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But now, as you dig into it and you start to reverse engineer some of the things that we've seen, you know, you think with the end in mind, or, you know, just reverse engineer a lot of the things that we've seen in our lifetime, And now that we get older, we're much more wiser. We're making more decisions. We're more conscious. And we said to ourselves, no, I'm not going to be believing that bullshit no more. I think, I think there was way more to it.
Yeah.
Do you think that just some average guy killed Kennedy or killed MLK or killed Malcolm X? No, these things were set up, and these things were done. They were planned, and so these are facts. Even though you think that it's a conspiracy, some of the things are really facts, but you're just fighting it.
I agree.
They'll fight it to the end. They'll fight. Oh no, sugar's good for you. Sugar's good for you. Like, no, sugar's not good for you, man. Don't you know this? You making it more controversial than what it is. We know it's not good for you, but what you're telling us, it's totally false. So
reverse engineering.
I love it. You said it like that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take a little bit from what both of you guys said. I think what makes people believe in conspiracy theories are the contradictions of our leaders, and how time ends up revealing, things.
I agree.
And so and then I think I'm going to add the word pattern. I've always said that a conspiracy theorist is just somebody who recognizes patterns. And so you start noticing, like, wait.
No, you're right.
And so, So, all right, leads us into another point here. And maybe this one will be perfect to talk about what's recent. So,
okay.
And I think so what's the wildest conspiracy theory you've heard or know about? Either you could answer that or you could default to what's been going on.
I'll talk about it right now.
It's pretty wild.
What's wild is these homes up in flames in Palisades and Pasadena. My mom's house got burnt down.
Wow.
My dad's house got burned down that I grew up in and off Altadena Boulevard.
Bro, I didn't know.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's heavy hearing that right now.
Yeah, he got burnt down. Like, a house that I grew up in my mom's house. My mom and I are from Pasadena, California, but she grew up in a different part of Pasadena. More so like
always some light skinned cats. Ain't got not one dark dude in Pasadena.
But I mean, if you look back, right, you remember when The Rock and Oprah were in Maui or wherever they were at? That type of fire happened in California. So specific homes got burnt up in certain areas. Cars got burnt up, but palm trees weren't burnt down. The blue trash cans weren't burnt down. And it's like, you got Mel Gibson on TV. That was key.
Went nuts.
You got Chris Brown, DDG. You got Tiger talking about he's about to leave the country. Something's going on. The gig is up. Wind and fire. Whether you want to say someone lit the fire, because we got video footage of that, but we don't know where that's at, because that could have been filmed anywhere. And then you got the military, the FBI people that won't allow these wealthy people to get to their homes after the damage. It just doesn't add up. So, yeah, I know I probably went off on a tangent, but
I think to add to that, I mean, let's stay on this hot topic of the Pacific Palisades fires. You brought up some great points, so I'm not going to repeat those, but I'll add to those points. Satellite footage is showing that these fires started at the exact same time and in strategic areas, And then there's the idea of the mayor slashing, the budget for the fire department, and then there's the reservoirs that are empty. Then there's the fire hydrants that don't work. Come on, man.
And State Farm.
That's a movie.
And State Farm.
And the State Farm, the canceling of insurance, so like nobody's gonna be able to make a claim. Oh, and then Gavin Newsom says, "Oh, we have buyers already, and our lawyers are already talking with the buyers
You already have, to
be able to purchase these because they're not paid. So that $4.3 million home ain't $4.3 million.
No, they're buying
anymore.
It for scraps. They're buying it for really cheap.
Yeah,
it's pennies on a dollar at that point.
That's crazy.
It's pennies on a dollar.
Also, ABL. You guys gotta look up ABL.
What's ABL?
Energy directed weapons.
No. I think it's
it's a plane.
Direct energy weapons.
Yeah. So however you say it. Yes, you're right.
Direct.
It's a plane though. It's a plane with a laser, bro.
DEW.
Yeah, you can put it anywhere you want.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to put it in. Okay, it's there.
Yeah.
Fraction of a second, gone, toast.
Yeah.
ABL is the acronym that they use for that aircraft.
It's sad.
What about you, Todd?
Well, you guys both had some great points, man. I'm enjoying.
Weren't you
feel there's something suspicious, or are you taking it at face value?
No, I'm not taking it at face value.
Weren't you helping out?
I was. I do a lot of because I was out of the town. I was out of town, so when the fire started, I was flying out of town. So literally, I was flying out Sunday night to Orlando. Get to Orlando, and they said, "Hey, man, you hear about what's going on in California?" Nah, what's going on? They're like, "Oh, there's a lot of fires." I'm like, "Man, get the hell out! Just get out of my face." So I get to the room and I see California on fire, and I'm literally of a loss of words, plus I'm locked into a meeting, so I really couldn't do too much, but just see what's going on the TV. But some of the biggest conspiracies I hear from this is that orbs were flying through the sky and flying through the clouds and lighting fires at the same time. Someone said that they seen aliens flying through the fires. So there's a lot of those conspiracies going on right there. I don't know for all that to be true, but I do know that these times are different. There's dry times. I think they made a lot of crucial mistakes. The mayor made a lot of mistakes. I don't know who was in her camp, but she needs to fire all of them for sure, and burn the whole team down and start from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like what they do. It's a lot of corruption there with the DWP with the water and shit. They shouldn't be controlling. There should be a flow of water all the time. If there's a fire,
yep,
that should have never happened in Pasadena. As much resources as we have there from the Irwindale, Santa Fe Dam, all that water that's stored there. There's water. There's reservoirs of water that could have taken care of that fire. But by you saying that they were started simultaneously would definitely cause a problem in Southern California, because now you got agencies scrambling to see who can help who, and they're running themselves thin and don't have enough resources.
Yep.
But look who came to our aid.
FEMA.
Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah, you had the people from Mexico flying over to help us fight the fires. And you had people
and prison systems.
They're not getting paid nothing.
No.
And you got people from Kenya and Canada.
I didn't know that.
Helping us fight these fires.
I have a problem with that. Because we have people that were probably in Arizona, Nevada, and Texas ready to go, but they didn't. They went ahead and got something. They got help from people that we don't really necessarily, know. In other words, we have opportunities for our own to be doing something. And I know it sounds like a good gesture, but here goes my mind. My mind starts to say, like, wait a minute, wait. Cartels control everything.
They do.
Cartels control everything.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying? So, or do you? How many of those?
They didn't have to ask. They didn't have to. They flew their helicopters. They flew 16 helicopters and landed right there and got busy. They're like, you know what? We don't care what you're talking about. We're here to help you.
Adding to that, wouldn't you know that allegedly Biden gave Ukraine $500 million on the day of the fires?
You like a little bonus?
500 mil.
That's a bonus.
500 million to Ukraine. And the fires didn't just happen in Cali. Those type of fires that we had happened worldwide. I don't know if y'all knew that.
Let me add this really quick. 3 days I didn't have power, and I got an alert from the Southern California Edison Company saying that we are going to shut down the power because of the winds, because of the weather conditions, because the thinking behind that is if the electrical wires are live and then those things get knocked down, they can then whip around and then maybe cause a fire, right? So if where I live, you're shutting down the power so that there can be no opportunity for it to cause a fire, why was all the power live and direct? Shut the power down. That's the reason why certain things weren't working and certain things weren't available. But he's like, none of that was shut down. He goes, none of our Ting devices said that any of that was shut down.
Wow.
It was all live current.
Wow.
And if you saw a lot of that, let me just stop right there because, this is already
go down a rabbit hole.
I wonder how many followers we lost already.
What do you know about the smart meters.
Well, from what I heard is that a lot of the houses that had smart meters burnt all the way down to a crisp. The ones that didn't have the smart meters
Did not burn down.
Not burn down.
There's video footage of that. You're 100% correct.
Because I know that there was my girlfriend's family's home didn't burn down, and the houses around them burnt to a crisp, like next door neighbors down to the floor.
There's a video of a guy, what you're saying, one of his houses in the front didn't have a smart meter, but the house in the back did, and the dude was an engineer. He did something to the smart meter. And that I guess that particular house didn't burn down, but the house in the back did. It's all on social. Yeah. It's all on TikTok, Instagram. Yeah, those smart meters have something going on to where,
and maybe someone of our viewers can prove us wrong, but we don't know. So.
All right, let's wrap this up with the last question. So, how do you balance this curiosity? People that are listening are saying, man, these guys are wild, man. I don't believe in that stuff. And then there's probably another big old bunch of people all listening that are saying, hey, man, finally somebody's talking about it. I agree with these guys. But you know what? There's a lot of conspiracy theories that are wild. There's some that are just out there. There's some that are, okay, for instance, I'm not fully bought into the flat earth, but I've read a lot about it.
Right.
I've read a lot about flat earth.
Right.
So how do you balance curiosity, being curious, critical thinking when you hear conspiracy theory? How do you balance that? How do you balance it? What makes you say, all right, this belongs in this box, this one belongs in this box?
That's a tough question. I will say that I don't give it acknowledgement. I don't pay attention to it anymore. I don't study it or ask around. I just say, hey, I'm gonna leave it in this box, and if it ever comes up again, then okay.
I love that.
So I don't get too high on my highs. I don't get too low on my lows, and it's in that cabinet, and I just shut it down. Mental note. It's in my mental, but just don't bring
until
it up.
Until it resurfaces.
Yeah, I tuck it away for another day.
I use more logical thinking. I'll pay more attention to, things that are really logical. If it's just way outside of my element, I'll be like, you know what, that's way too far-fetched, and try to do more of the control of the controllables in my own mind versus me, spending too much time going down too many deep rabbit holes. I just have to think about things that are logical and things that make sense.
Mm-hmm. Got you. I would take a page out of Paul's way of doing it. When I hear it, and if it's too far-fetched and I don't have enough information, then I'll go dive. I will go. If I hear something that piques my interest, I'll go dive. And if I can't arrive to logical conclusions, it gets put in a box that okay. Well, but if it resurfaces, I'll be like, oh man, I need to go dig up that box real quick, bro.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a balance that strikes me, but here's another thing is that nowadays conspiracy theories have a little bit more of a challenge because there seems to be a lot of misinformation and disinformation.
True.
It doesn't necessarily come from honest people. Hold on, let me rephrase that. So you got your average public, you got the public at large, and all we want to do is just live life. You know what I'm saying? And then you don't necessarily, you got some fools that might make something up and then try to push it. It's not those that I'm worried about. I'm worried about the 3-letter agencies.
Yeah.
That go out there and put disinformation and misinformation to just to muddy the waters even more.
And I think that happens more often than we don't.
Especially now.
Think it does. Because, look at COVID. Nobody knows if that's real or fake.
Oh, well.
I got my take, man.
That's a whole nother show. We'll do a whole nother show.
To answer your question, what was the actor that acted like he got beat up?
Small A? Yeah. Small A, bro.
So we don't need any more of that. We're good on that.
Chicago? He got beat up in Chicago.
3 a.m.
Yeah. Messed up his whole check. Yeah. Come on, bro. What are you doing? Planting the wrong seeds, brother.
Oh, man. Well, wasn't this an exciting show, guys?
Thought-provoking.
Our condolences to all the families harmed and materials lost. We know that there's things out there that can help you, but obviously it won't replace your homes and your pets, your loved ones. But from Eavesdrop to you guys, we're praying for you. We love you guys.